Life is a series of choices, like what deodorant are we going to use? What toothpaste are we going to use? What job are we going to have? What car are we going to drive? Who we're going to marry? Who our friends are going to be? Of all the choices we make, the most important one is who will you serve? There are choices that we make that have no middle ground. Like when I was 10 years old, I went to a public swimming pool with my friends. It was a hot July day, so we chose to go swimming to cool off. As we went into the gate, we looked and there were two diving boards. There was one diving board that was about 4 or 6 feet off of the water, and the other diving board was about 20-25 feet off the water. There were lines that were being formed and people were climbing up both ladders and jumping off. My friends wanted to jump off the high dive. There was a conflict that began to swell within me. Am I going to jump or am I not going to jump? I knew that if I began to climb that ladder, that I couldn't stop halfway up because there were people behind me. I knew that I had to move forward and jump off. We are challenged every day to make decisions, to make choices. And some of those choices, they don't have a middle ground. And there was a group of people who had to make a choice that did not have a middle ground. And their story is found in Joshua chapter 24. We're going to look at verses 14 through 15. Therefore, fear the Lord and worship Him in sincerity and truth. Get rid of the gods your ancestors worshipped beyond the Euphrates River and in Egypt, and worship the Lord. But if it doesn't please you to worship the Lord, choose for yourselves today. Which will you worship? The gods your ancestors worshipped beyond the Euphrates River, or the gods of the Amorites in whose lands you are living? As for me and my family, we will worship the Lord. Joshua gathers the people of Israel at a place called Shechem to have this meeting. Scholars estimate that there were probably 2 million people that were present at this meeting. And Joshua stands up in front of this huge crowd and he begins to lay out a timeline of God's faithfulness, beginning with Abraham and then Isaac and then Jacob and finally to Moses. He was explaining how God intervened in their life. He was explaining how God performed miracles to meet needs. He concluded his recollection with this challenge. Choose today who you will serve. If worshiping God sounds good to you, great, worship God. But if worshiping those other gods sounds good to you, then worship them. Once again today, we see the line being drawn in the sand. Once again today, we hear this challenge by God through Joshua to us. Choose who you will serve. Today, like these people, we have an option of serving the God of the universe, the God who created everything, the God who sent His Son to pay the price for sin that we could not pay. Or we can serve the gods of this culture. Self-reliance, self-help, self-love, self-happiness. Gods who have done nothing for us. This day is not a surprise because we were told about a day that was coming where people would choose to serve gods of culture. 2 Timothy chapter 4 verses 3 through 4, it reads, "For the time will come when people will not tolerate sound doctrine, but according to their own desires will multiply teachers for themselves, because they have an itch to hear what they want to hear. They will turn away from hearing the truth and will turn aside to myths. It's understandable that people who aren't believers would choose culture gods. But Paul was talking about the church. Paul was talking about people within the church who claim to follow God, who claim to love God. These are the people that we're going to turn away. We live in a day where wrong is right and lies are truth. We can no longer waffle between serving God or serving culture. The day of choosing is here. Like Joshua, I want to encourage you to remember God's faithfulness in your life. Remember the truth that you learned from His Word. Then choose. If serving God is your desire, then serve God with everything within you. But if serving God is not what you want to do, and serving these other gods are pleasing to you, then serve them. A line is being drawn today. Who will you serve? Throughout the Bible, we see the idea of choosing God by having no other gods. In Deuteronomy 5:7, God says, don't make idols. And in 1 Kings 18:21, Elisha asks, how long will you waver between choosing who you will serve? And then in Matthew chapter 6, verse 24, Jesus proclaims, no one can serve two masters. Then here in Joshua, we are challenged to choose who we will serve. Will you be like Joshua and proclaim, for me and my family, we will serve the Lord. Choose this day who you will serve. Thanks for watching. If this video was helpful to you, I ask you to hit that like button, give me a thumbs up. And if you would like more videos like this, more videos about ministry and church growth, subscribe to this channel and you will be notified when new videos are made.